Welcome to this explainer on the science of reading. Today we're diving into the letter N, which stands for Neural Pathways to Learning How to Read. Now, if you're an educator, an instructional coach, or a school leader, you already know how absolutely crucial reading is. But today, we're going to look at it from a slightly different perspective, literally from the inside out. You know, my journey into understanding the reading brain actually began with a personal heartbreak. It started when my stepfather tragically lost his ability to read, following a severe head injury on the job that resulted in a stroke. He had known how to read perfectly well before the injury, but after that trauma to his brain, reading was just no longer the same for him. And honestly, it shook me. I just couldn't stop asking myself, how could a person know how to read and then just lose access to that ability? Like, what actually happened in his brain? What specific pathways were damaged? Well, his experience taught me a profound truth, and it's one that completely changes how we need to view our students. Ready for it? Reading is not automatic for the human brain. We are born naturally wired for spoken language. We just pick it up from our environment, right? But we are absolutely not born wired to read. It is an entirely unnatural process.
So here's the crucial point. Because it's unnatural, the brain must be carefully and systematically taught to read. It has to physically build what we call neural pathways. These pathways are the actual physical connections in the brain that allow sounds, letters, words, language, memory, and meaning to all move and work together. When we teach a child to read, we are quite literally helping their brain physically connect speech to print. How amazing is that? When we read, our brain rapidly coordinates this highly complex sequence of systems. Step 1, the eyes see the visual symbols, the letters. Step 2, the brain recognizes those symbols and connects them to sounds. Step 3, it connects those sounds to words. And finally, Step 4, it connects those words to meaning, language, background knowledge, and comprehension. Now, it looks completely effortless for skilled readers, but that's only because the brain has built these highly efficient, super fast pathways to do all that heavy lifting.
This brings us to our first main section, why explicit instruction matters. Because this reading process is so intricate and, as we said, entirely unnatural, explicit instruction is absolutely crucial. Think about what's actually happening during our literacy blocks. When students learn phonemic awareness, they're strengthening their ability to work with sounds. When they learn phonics, they're physically connecting those sounds to letters. Decoding applies those new connections to new words, fluency builds that automaticity, and vocabulary strengthens their comprehension. We aren't just delivering a lesson here. We are actively helping a child's brain build vital, physical neural connections. It's like we're brain architects. Understanding this brain-based process shifts our entire perspective on struggling readers. For so long, the old assumption when a student struggled was, oh, the student is lazy, or they're careless, or they just aren't trying hard enough. But the science of reading gives us a far more empathetic and accurate lens. It tells us the pathway simply hasn't been built yet. The connection is just weak. They just need more modeling, more explicit instruction, and frankly, more time. So instead of sitting there in frustration and asking, why can't this child read, we have to completely change our questioning. We need to ask, what specific pathway needs to be strengthened? We can use targeted questions like, can they actually blend sounds? Or do they confidently know their letter sounds? Doing this pinpoints exactly where our targeted instruction is needed so we can get straight back to effective teaching.
Let's move right into Section 2, the classroom connection.
Because repeated use is what makes these neural pathways permanent, the way we practice matters immensely. We've got to provide teacher modeling, guided practice, and, this is a big one, immediate correction and feedback. We want students practicing the right skills in the exact right way. Think about it. If students practice guessing words based on pictures or skipping words they don't know, well, those bad habits become permanent pathways too. We absolutely have to ensure students are repeatedly and accurately applying their skills, mapping words to memory through connected reading and writing.
I want you to take a quick moment right now to reflect on your own classroom. How does understanding these neural pathways change how you view a struggling reader? Think of a specific student you're teaching right now. What specific pathway needs strengthening for them today? Taking this brain-based perspective really empowers you to move from feeling stuck or frustrated to providing actionable, empathetic, and highly targeted instruction. I'm going to leave you with this final, powerful thought. My stepfather's injury was truly heartbreaking, but it gave me a profound respect for the brain and the fragile, beautiful gift that is reading. When we teach reading well, we are helping our students build pathways to independence, pathways to confidence, pathways to knowledge, and pathways to opportunity. Remember that the work you do every single day matters immensely. Every time you explicitly teach a reading skill, you are literally helping a student build lifelong pathways to a brighter future.